It's a lovely day here in North Carolina, but there's no fool like an old fool. About a week or so ago, I broke the 10% rule. That means I increased a workout by more than 10% in a week. I was slowly building up the slope on a treadmill to prepare for a run that has a 1-mile hill at the end of the 10-mile race. And so I wanted to be ready for that climb. Well, I jumped from 10 minutes on the treadmill to 15 minutes 1 week later, and then 2 days later I got on the treadmill for a short workout. I noticed I couldn't really run very well, and this leg was kind of pooping out on me. First I thought it was a problem with my stent, blood supply to my leg, as I was getting tightness here and around the back of my glutes, and it would track down my hamstrings, IT band, even down into my calf. Well, after a few days of messing around trying to find out what the problem was, being sure it wasn't due to blood supply, pulse in my foot was fine, I had no swelling, no discoloration. I checked my nail beds, pinch your nail bed and you can see if it refills. You can tell your blood supply is fine. If you have an aortic aneurysm, this is an important issue. And I eventually tracked it down to this little muscle here, the iliacus, one of the hip flexors. And what the hip flexors do is they allow you to lift your leg or flex your hip as opposed to extending the hip. And the two main muscles do this, the iliacus and the psoas muscle that runs right up to your kidneys. And tightness of that muscle is a common cause of lower back pain, and it's often missed. You can get that muscle to let go, your back pain will often fade away, and it's encouraged by lots of sitting where it shortens that muscle. Anyway, it turned out it was the iliacus. So when this feeling came on, even only after walking maybe 100 yards, I could stop, push on that muscle gently, push it from the side, it would let go, and all the pain, discomfort in my leg would go away. Until I started walking again. There's no way I could run. So here I have a strained iliacus. What am I going to do about it? Well, I'm going to try and rest it, but also exercise it gently. Try to reduce the engagement of that muscle. And how do I do that? By changing the way I move. By changing the way I walk, run, or ride my bike. Even I had to change the way I was swimming in the pool, because your kick can engage that muscle too. So you want to engage it as little as possible. This is why if you break a rib, it takes so long for everything to heal, because you can't stop breathing. But you can consciously change the way you engage certain muscles if you know how to do it. And the way to do that is to change the way you move. Because unless you are a yogi, I don't think you can consciously relax one individual muscle. I sure can't anyway. So I'm just going to give you a short demo on how I changed my run in the hopes of getting up that hill in a month from now. I'm about to run up a gentle slope to see how that iliacus is doing. Ooh, I can already feel it, unhappy. So let's see what we can do about that. Remember, I want to try to avoid engaging this sore muscle. So in order to do that, instead of lifting my legs, I always kind of pull them around with my body. It looks odd, but it might just get me up the hill in that race next month. You never know your luck. So let me give it a try. It looks odd, but it's not yanking on my iliacus. So I might just make it up that hill, though it is 1 mile long, at the end of a 10-mile race. And if I don't feel it's ready, I won't do it. I'll just wait to fight another day. So that's the way it's done. You can also choose which muscle groups to engage on the bike by the way you ride the bike, but you do need clip-on pedals for this. So my shoes are locked into the pedal. And as you start to spin, you can decide, are you going to mash down and use your quads? Are you going to drag your heel along the bottom of your shoe to push at the back to engage your glutes? Are you going to pull up to use those hip flexors, the iliacus and the psoas, which of course I don't because I've got this iliacus is a little unhappy right now, or do you use the muscles that push your knees forward? Strangely enough, that always increases my cadence when I do that. Never have been sure why. So you can definitely decide which muscle groups to engage, probably in almost any sport. It just takes a little thought. and that can accelerate injury repair, and also, if you know what you're doing, reduce your risks of injuries as well. So that's another place you can change how you think to change what you do to change the stresses on your body. Boy, I do love riding my bike. It's a great bike. So over and out from Fit Old Dog, thinking how to deal with the stresses and strains of being an older athlete. Boy, I love to work out.